Hey guys, welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. This is Chandra, and tonight we are going to be doing another tarot card reading. Now, this reading here is for this tarot card reading is for this is for Cindy. We're just going to go with first names for privacy reasons. We're not even going to mention the guy's name that's involved in this, but she wants to know when this person is going to text her. So let's find out the answer. I'm just shuffling the cards really nicely. And questions are usually, like especially when they deal with time, it's usually like it's better to do just for future references, like with regard to time. It's better time-wise. I know this is true for me anyway. Like I'm calibrated to about 3 months out. So, if it's something that's probably really, it could be in a matter of days or something along those lines. It's almost like the cards don't do me as much good as just kind of my intuition about it. Because the period of time is like in such a short proximity of time. Now, if it's a week or two out, that's even a little bit better. But the longer that it goes, I can get more of a sense because of the 3 month calibration. So I can normally give you about a month. I can tell you about down to the month or about down to like the week if it's one of those kind of situations. But, if it's a situation where like it's a Saturday and you want to know if, what, in the next couple of days when which day exactly this person's going to text you or connect with you, that's a little bit more challenging because it's sort of like, I don't know. It's just hard to put it into words. It's not as cut and dry. I mean, it's more cut and dry like as you get out. So like, I'll give an example. So say, for example, say somebody wanted to know, say they're saving for a car and they want to know when they're going to be able to afford it. So they ask a question like that. Obviously, you can think about like what kind of money they're making and this, that, and the other, and put two and two, and then how much they want the car to be, and you could kind of figure it out logically like that, right? Well, it's kind of like that with being psychic, but it's not exactly like that, but it's sort of like that because you kind of get like a proximity. If you have no money and that the car is going to cost you $5,000, and that you're bringing in $900 a month in income. That the soonest that you could have it would probably be in 7 or 8 months. So you can make an educated guess and say, well, in 7 or 8 months, assuming that you have no other bills and that you don't spend your money on anything, you would be able to afford this vehicle. And then, of course, it would take you a little while to pick the right one and so on and so forth. And then, now whether or not you would be able to save the money, it depends on your nature and, how good you are with money and different things like that. But when it comes to like something like in a short span of time, like, it's a little bit more challenging sometimes to come up with like a precise answer. Like, I mean, that would be like if you asked me like, what time today specifically, exactly, am I going to take a bath? It's just, if I told you, well, it's going to be at 5:43, and this is when you're going to actually turn the water on. And by the time you undress and everything, and you get yourself in the shower and get your shower going and stuff, it's going to be like whatever time. That would be just miraculous, right? So, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that you got to kind of like sometimes now I can get an approximation. I can give you kind of like an idea of things, but exact times are sometimes very challenging, but not impossible. So let's continue. As I get older, my intuition and psychic ability has really picked up. I mean, when I was a kid, I had a lot of different psychic experiences, but as I got older, those experiences got, a lot more refined. I was able to understand what was going on better, and I was able to get a lot of, insight into like how it works. And so now I have this experience of doing it, coupled with just, I can't even explain it. It's just like I get things like that almost anymore. And it keeps getting more and more powerful. So I pick up things like that. Maybe I'm rambling here. I apologize if I am. But all right, so we're going to look at the past, present, future. We'll look at the energy surrounding the immediate moment. We'll look at kind of what you're probably wanting, Cindy, from this, kind of where your mindset is with it. And then we'll look at the outcome, and we will look at really the answer to that outcome. So the first thing we've got going on is the past. And the past is a cup of nostalgia. This is where you see like an older boy and a younger girl, and handing off a flower and different things. It's in a pretty nice neighborhood, you would say, and it's kind of a nice gesture, giving something to this person. And that this is about, we're using a lot of, this is very like a very hypnotic card in many ways. We're using ideas of like remembering, re-entering, reliving, repeating, these things that cause us to do what's called a transderivational search, to search for meaning, but meaning directly from the past. We get certain associations with things just naturally that come into our awareness, maybe that remind us of the past, things that are rather nostalgic. So this is maybe something that, with this person that you have some kind of a past with, that certain things create that familiarity inside your mind. The next thing we have is the Knight of Swords. This is the present moment. This is where we're at. So I can tell you right now, just from this card alone, that what's happening is a lot of fast energy, a lot of fast movement. And it's a lot of fast mental movement. It's things in the mind. So as far as him texting you, I might be late in delivering this, and he probably has already texted you. It could be very much that way, because this is one of the most this is one of the speediest cards in the tarot, and that's in the immediate present right now. So as far as his actions go, it's happening. I mean, he's going to text you sooner rather than later. Guaranteed. I'm picking that up anyway intuitively, and I was doing that really before I really started dealing these cards out. The next thing is the near future. So near future would be, normally like I said, I'm calibrated to about 3 months out, but that being said, we're probably talking, hours, minutes, days, very close proximity of time. We're seeing that with that card. That's like, instantaneous action happening. So I can tell you that much. I mean, if you're looking to know when he's going to actually text you, that's your answer right there. It's like, it probably more than likely has already happened. He's probably already texted you, or he's in the process of getting ready to text you, any minute, or, I wouldn't say any later than within 24 to 48 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. It's fast. In the future, though, we'll continue on, though, to give you more insight into the whole situation. So in the near future, pertaining to this particular question, this situation and all, we have the King of Swords. Kings are about authority. Again, we have another sword. That's the mind. That's mental. Kings are foundation makers. They make foundations for us. They are the ones that help us, get on level ground, we become very sure-footed. They help us in that capacity. Swords are not just about like cutting things or like showing power and that kind of thing. It's really a card of power, mind power more than anything. Not necessarily mind control and playing tricks on people's minds, that kind of thing. Although that could be the potential for this, but it's more about just setting a foundation in place. So it could be very. This type of king is really black and white in his thinking. He's very reasonable, makes decisions really based strictly on the information and things that are presented to him. And that's exactly what's the situation with this. It's reasonable and rational thinking. So this person will do things in a rational or reasonable way. Give him a reason to do things in a reasonable way. If you text him, he'll text you right back. It just makes sense. Why wouldn't he? So that kind of thing. If you start to be, I don't want to say stalkerish or anything like that, or you start to be a little too clingy or something like that, he may back away. That might be the most natural or logical thing to do. So people's behavior is a lot of times the direct result of, what's in front of them in that. The energy surrounding that fast-moving card that we talked about a minute ago, that Knight of Swords, is the Chariot. And Chariot's about strength, It's also about energy and action and moving forward. So, I mean, you can see that. I don't know if you can see him. Look at that old guy. It's about strength and power. I mean, this is sort of about physical strength and that kind of thing. Next card we have is really kind of where you're at mind-wise. This is sort of the kind of your maybe attitude would be a good word for it around the situation. It's a Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is also a lot of times often referred to as the thief in the night by a lot of people that do tarot. I don't necessarily look at it exactly that way. For me, this is a card about really going it alone, doing one's own thing. And maybe that's what your anticipation is, or your thought is oftentimes when this card comes up, it's read as a card of deception and betrayal, broken vows. It's like almost like thinking that we're safe and sort of undiscovered, that we won't get found out. And then something always tends to go awry. And whatever secret we're holding on to, it becomes revealed. And so that's kind of the situation with it. So this could be the case. Maybe there's something like you're not wanting certain information to get out there for him to find out or something like that. Or maybe you're nervous that it could. And this is the card that come up. Next, we have the outcome. Now, the outcome is really it's really the final solution. It's really it brings a lot of finality to things. But even that being said, you don't want to get too caught up in the outcome being a guarantee. It's not always a guarantee, especially when you know what the outcome is. You can obviously change the outcome and make it whatever you want it to be, or alter, things. Like that's the thing about tarot card readings is when you're given information ahead of time, you can, I don't want to say manipulate, but it's really probably the best way to put it. You can manipulate the future how you like, or at least now that you're given this information ahead of time, you can then make different decisions and get a different result. But we have the Page of Pentacles, and it's a good card. Pages are messengers. Well, what are we talking about here with this reading? It's all about messages. And this is a message about money, or a message about groundedness, or about relationship. And so really the message here is, it's one of opportunity, and it's a good one. It's also about material prosperity and that kind of thing coming into play. But it could be about like, maybe this person is going to call you and let you know that, things are going to be taken care of. We're going to bring a message of, good news about stuff, it's to make you feel more comfortable and that kind of thing. So it's not going to be negative. I'm not picking that up at all. This is going to be kind of like I text you some good news or something along those lines, maybe about a new job or some kind of new opportunity or something like that that's presenting itself. It could be a text about, marriage, or a text about furthering the relationship in some capacity, or just a text about, just something along those lines. It's about something that there's definitely a message coming through. Now, what is the answer to that message in that? This is the most interesting thing, because like all throughout this entire thing, with the exception of the Six of Cups that we had on the beginning, which is about the past, we haven't really had a lot of cups. Cups are about relationships. This has all been about the mind, what's going on inside, well, your mind, Cindy. So it's sort of like we have all these kind of things going on. So the anticipation of someone, messaging you or texting you quickly, well, it's there. King of Swords is all about controlling the mind and mental authority, kind of like what's fair is fair, what goes around comes around, that kind of thing. The Chariot, the Chariot is, it teaches us kind of the importance of just kind of staying on the path and having this kind of an unyielding willingness to just kind of, stay the course, keep the course, that kind of thing. And then we have your energy and stuff, which is the Thief in the Night. doing something incognito maybe, or something in secret, betrayal, broken hearts, broken vows, that kind of thing. And then the outcome, of course, we have new opportunity, financial gain for business, or some kind of money coming into play or something like that, or some kind of a prosperity. It may not be necessarily money. It could be like, just some kind of good luck that happens to fall on you. And then finally, we have the key, which is another cup card, which is all about relationships. And in this particular case, it's the Four of Cups. You can look at this real quick. Like, look at this guy. Arms crossed, being presented something from the proverbial hand. He's got 3 cups in front of him already, just kind of not like really in the game. This is a card of uncertainty. Sort of like it's decision time, and it's about really kind of turning inward to find the truth. You might even be a little bit bored, thinking about the future and what have you. And so this can be kind of a negative, like maybe there's some disappointment in someone, or maybe even a situation, for example, maybe an end result or something like that. So it kind of signals a pause, which is interesting because, you got to kind of pause in order to get this other stuff out of the way. And that's exactly what's happening. So how long is it going to take? Well, it's a pause. That's it. It's not very long. So, and once that happens, and all other positive things will really come into play and stuff like that. But anyways, I hope that this reading was helpful to you. I would say, like, just intuitively speaking, if he hasn't connected with you yet, I would say this person will connect with you within the next day or two. Maybe on the 3rd day, actually. Picking up a 3 for some reason. Could be 3 as in 30 minutes from now. It could be 3 as in 3 hours from now. It could be 3 that when he contacts you, it's going to be at 3 o'clock, or at some point in the 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock zone. But that's what I'm picking up, is a 3. So I can see him texting and stuff. He's got kind of like a smile on his face, and he's like busy. Right? He had something. Someone else is trying to get his attention. It's kind of like, hold on just a minute, let me do this real quick, kind of thing. And that other person's kind of like behind him and to his side, and he's just kind of like ducked here doing his thing real quick, texting, and that's it. And then he's got other things going on. So if he texts you and then he doesn't text you right away back, that's probably the reason why. It's just he's got this other person to his right side, actually, kind of right behind him, that's trying to get him back to work or get him back to doing something. And he's kind of saying, hey man, come on, let's go. But it's not in a bad way. I mean, I see a kind of smirky kind of smile on this guy's face. So I don't know. So anyways, that's what I got. If you have any other questions or you need anything, please reach out to me as your tarot coach. I'm always here for you. And let's see, what else? Oh, so guys, if you guys want to help the monks here, you can just go to helpbydonating.com. All of your donations are appreciated. They help us maintain ourselves, basically. We rely on donations. And of course, they also help us spread love for God to others. Only donate if it's in your heart and for no other reason. We don't want anybody feeling resentment. We don't want to cause anybody pain or anything like that, or any suffering. So, but if you're able to and you're willing and it's in your heart to do it, we always welcome that. And we definitely thank you for that. For everyone else, and those people too, if you like the video, please hit like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get notifications when we come online to do these live streams, click the bell notification. And whenever we come online, you'll get those notifications. Guys, I'm Chandra. It's nice to see everybody out here. And we're chatted a little bit dead today. We don't really have anybody on the channel as of right now. Maybe people are watching other programs or doing other things. Totally understandable. But in the meantime, if you get a chance and you happen to have watched this or something, oh, please give it a like or a thumbs up or something. It helps the videos to do a little bit better. And the YouTube algorithm and stuff, it kind of helps. And then other people can see the video and learn more about tarot and get help also. If you guys ever have any questions or anything, please reach out to me. I'll have all the information in the description below this video. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. Many blessings.